What are the three top things that businesses need to focus on to getting social media to work in their business?
The three top tactics are making sure that you have the right platform for your audience. So you got to know who it is you want to speak to, and then you've got to be making sure you're putting out your information through that right platform. So middle income, large community within Australia, Facebook, higher tech savvy, younger audience, city dweller type people, as across Twitter, and professionals, you'll find them on LinkedIn. So the first thing is to make sure you're communicating to the right platform. Obviously the best way to do that would be to communicate to them all, and the right one will just pick it up. You might get some stuff from the other ones. The second thing would be, one of my top strategies is to make sure that you're on brand, and we call it authentic. It's a bit of a buzzword, but really that's about making sure that the message and the information you're putting out is on brand. There's absolutely no reason for an accounting firm to be writing about recipes for chicken soup. So you've got to be making sure the information is relevant to the audience that you are sending it to. But I also think that the final thing is to making sure that the last piece of the puzzle is always in place, that you have a defined goal for why you're putting your information out in the way that you're putting it out in the networks that you're putting it out on, and what the eventual return is for your business, and having some form of being able to measure that that's actually happening.
What's the driver? What are businesses missing out by not having a social networking strategy?
I think the biggest thing is the old analogy: if you're not talking to your customers, then your competitors probably are. So if you're not saying something, then they'll listen to whoever is. So given that the rise of the social web has been increasing exponentially at a rapid rate, we need to now sort of know that if you want to talk to Australians, well, there's 8 million of them on Facebook alone. So by not having conversations through the social web, if you're selling to end consumers, then you're missing an opportunity that perhaps your competitors are taking up. The good news for you is that probably your competitors aren't, because most people are dragging their heels a little bit in this new environment because they just don't understand it.
Final question: if there was a case study on your website that we could point to that was highlighting a business that has done this really well recently, who would you recommend?
I think that there's not necessarily a case study on our website as such, but certainly somebody that's done it well recently. In my view, is Telstra locally are doing a very good job on social media in using it as a customer service tool, and there's an enormous amount of people that respond to that. The best way is to try yourself on Twitter and talk about a problem with Telstra and see how quickly you get a response. Globally, Old Spice did a fantastic campaign that reinvented their brand and brought it to a new audience. And again, there's lots of people that have written a lot of case studies about that. And I think that it's, for us in Australia, there isn't yet any single company that is doing all elements of this equation correctly. Obviously, fantastic for me, but also fantastic potentially for everybody else, because there is an opportunity here to be first mover and get that market advantage and own whatever your space is.
We don't all have the luxury of being the size of Telstra and Old Spice. How's Rich Evans and Red Interactive managing this?
We're managing it, by being, very, building a small but loyal audience. We have our site called the Click Here Revolution, which is, we're all about building it, along the lines of a revolution. And with that, we have managed to build through our seminar program and the things that we use social media for. We've built a very loyal audience that we can drop one piece of information into that audience now, and it will get shared multiple times. And that turns into real money for us in people that pay to come to our workshops, people that buy copies of my book. The only marketing I do for the book is through social networks, and it turns into daily book sales. Basically, I know if I put a thing up that says I've got 10 books that I'm going to sign and give you an hour of my time for free, those books will be literally gone in minutes now. So it's a good avenue for me to have built a very good, strong audience of people that are, becoming very brand loyal to what we do. And I think becoming the resident expert within your industry is another way that you can use that social environment, to be talking constantly and sharing information that you would see in your normal day-to-day readings of your industry journals and things like that. People that are outside your industry, well, they don't read your industry journals, but they still might find the information relevant. So by being aware and keeping yourself educated and up to date and then sharing what you're learning with those people, you don't have to be creating your own content all the time. You can just be passing comment on somebody else's content, but you're still adding value into your network.
Fantastic. Done.
Thank you.